him should produce some nice movies.
Oh, that's a really sweet line, actually.
Ready for the video?
Ready for the video.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Conscious practice. What's conscious? This is V and
This is Hare.
and today we'll be responding to Sadhguru's video on
Troubled by fear? Just change your channel.
My name is V. I'm an aspiring yogi, love all things meditation, yoga and wisdom based. Super grateful to have Sarah here on the show. Want to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Sarah. So excited to be here. 3 things, I guess, about me. I'm product and tech, ballroom dancer, and I have my own social impact startup.
What does fear mean to you?
Fear means paralysis and being overwhelmed.
I like that pretty succinct answer there. And with that,
Let's get into the video.
Many times in my daily life, fear stops me from doing small things and bigger things. Fear from failure, fear from maybe from rejection sometimes. How to overcome this fear?
You cannot overcome something which does not exist. Right now, are you in fear? Right now. That I may say something damaging. Is it the fear? Every moment of your life you're in fear? No. So, when you're not in fear, just stay like that.
That's a hard ask.
Because to create fear, you have to use excessive
I have that in
imagination.
spades.
To not be in fear, you don't have to do anything. Fear is happening because of excessive imagination, things that have not happened, you're creating. What may happen in your mind happens in 1,000 different formats, and most probably it never happens. The things that you feared, take 100 things that you have feared, probably 99 of them never happened, isn't it?
Calling us out.
Yes.
Calling us out.
So your fear is always about that which does not exist. You cannot fight or you cannot overcome that which does not exist. We can overcome something that exists. You cannot overcome that which does not exist. You just have to give up that effort. Enjoy the fear. After all, it's your making. You like horror movies. Yes, I mean, you're saying no, but you're producing them. It's just they're not making money, that's all.
I could be so rich.
Fear means you're producing horror movies in your mind. Nobody else is willing to watch. That's bad for the producer. But you're producing them.
Passion projects.
So, you produce something else. Produce a comedy, a love story, suspense, thriller. Try and see today. Just sit down, produce a love story, a suspense thriller, a comedy. 5 minutes movies you make in your mind. Really. Start using your mind differently. It's just gotten into your pattern. Just gotten into your pattern of just creating horror movies all the time. You have watched enough horror movies, they're boring. Create something else. Even it's not that if you produce these movies, those things will happen in your life. Still they may not happen, at least you enjoy the movie. In reality it may not happen, so what? At least you enjoy what's happening in your mind, if you cannot enjoy what's happening in the world, isn't it? That much privilege every human being deserves, isn't it so? Even if the world is not kind to him, at least his own mind should be kind to him, should produce some nice movies.
Oh, that's a really sweet line, actually.
alrighty, Sarah. So, first impression.
He was calling us out, but I think fear the biggest contradiction I had is there's some things that I think any person, me included, we're scared about things that are very close to happening, even if they aren't happening yet or are currently happening to us. So I'm curious on how he would frame that in terms of not, how do you get rid of fears when it's actively happening to you? He's saying that it shouldn't exist, but if it's happening and you're still scared of that event, how do you just, like, you can't manifest that event to go away. You're still fearing that, you're feeling that fear.
That's a great question. Now, I guess my response to that would be, like, yes, that's your reaction, the fear to something that's happening to you. So I guess maybe he was overgeneralizing, meaning, you know, I'm sure there are cases to where things are happening right now, like real time, and maybe it is, I could argue the other way too, but maybe it is a more valid way to be fearful about that. But I think what he was talking about was more for the majority of people who are living in this fear mindset, where it's not actually happening to them, right? But even then, let's break that down. Let's say something's happening to, which I'm not saying I endorse fearful things happening to people. I want to make that clear. But disclaimer, yeah, preface. But the point is that fear serving you?
Yeah, no, fear sucks. Like I said, it's paralyzing. Fear can be empowering if it's the drive to action, but often fear makes you unable to do anything because you're scared for the future, you're scared for your life, you're scared for the people you care about or yourself.
Would you say that overall it's a net positive or net negative? Because to me, it almost seems like it's been a net negative, right, for the most part. Like, I'm sure there's certain situations where it could serve as a way to drive you to do something. But even then, is it like really a healthy way to approach doing something? Why can't we approach it from another angle, right?
Yeah, I think it's mostly a net negative because you have to be really strong to be able to take something so powerful, negatively powerful, which is fear, and be able to turn it into something good. Most people kind of stay in that same negative space of whether that fear turns into anger, sadness, you're in that same realm. It's really hard to transition into something so positive. Yeah, well,
great perspective there. And with that being said, I also loved, I think you mentioned this too during the video, the whole reference he was making to like the movie that's playing in your mind. I think that's a great analogy because honestly, Eckhart Tolle talks about this too. It's another spiritual guide. He views it from the angle of like a tape recorder, right? Which is essentially what's happening to most of us, where we have like this tape on loop, which essentially what they're both referencing are your thoughts, just on loop, whether it's good, bad, fear, non-fear. But for the most part, for most of us, and even to me to an extent, it's like the same thoughts that are just getting repeated and repeated. And it is technically being self-created or self-induced, but we're just unconsciously doing it. The key, as he's saying, is to just bring some awareness to it and then start consciously creating something more pleasant if you want to, or whatever, right? How do you feel about that?
I think my family has really inspired me. I'm a very anxious person, and I think in some ways I'm a bigger risk taker, but in ways that they're stronger is the fact that there's a lot of fear that my family has, but they choose to deal with it when it happens. They said there's something big happening right now, and I have been paralyzed with fear. My family has been, we'll worry about it when it gets to that point. We'll worry about it when that situation happens. In the meantime, we're going to enjoy every day, not take it for granted, and spend as much time as we can together. And I think that goes to show that the whole manifesting, the whole movie that you're making, it takes away from the now. And you're just, honestly, I believe in self-fulfilling prophecies, because if you...
Is that similar to manifestation?
Yeah, exactly. So basically what happens is you think of a thought and you're so scared that it happens, you actually subconsciously make it happen. So you're scared of failing a test. So you don't want to study for the test because you're scared of failing it. And then you end up failing it because you didn't study, because you're scared for it. There's a lot of fears that if you play it in your head enough, you kind of make it happen. And that's the whole movie that you're self-producing over and over.
I appreciate you sharing that experience of yours as well as the honestly the wisdom. I couldn't have really said it better there. So that was probably going to be it for this. I mean, thank you for being here. Really appreciate your time. Want to share with the viewers where they can find you or your business or those cool ventures?
Yeah, so I don't think I mentioned this in the previous video, but my business is called Cherish Yourself. We're a streetwear brand raising awareness for mental health and sexual assault. You can find us on our social media at Cherish Yourself, cherry with like the fruit, ISH, and yourself, on pretty much every social media platform.
Well, thanks for being here. All of our stuff will be down below. If you have any other video reaction requests, topics, or guests that you want to see on the show, you can also comment down below. Also, would love to hear your views on what I've shared, Sarah shared, Sadhguru shared, open platform here. Let us know in the comments down below. With that, make this a great day. Take it joyful and stay conscious. Awesome job. You did great.
Thank you so much.
Perfect. That's it.